I'm a champion.
We welcome you to the postgame show here on Fox 35-14 is the final. The Patriots are 6-0. Tom Brady now is 12-1 on Thursdays in his NFL career. And how about this total? 131-20 all in here at home, and he's now won 19 straight. And he's standing by with Aaron Andrews.
Tom, you said to us this week, our offense, we're still learning, trying to find an identity. What did you learn tonight?
We grinded it out pretty good. We lost a lot of guys out there, and we got kind of stuck in one group in the whole second half. But, you know, to win 35-14 is pretty good. And, you know, we'll move on to the next game. First, I want to say hi to my wife at home. I'll be home soon, and my kids, too, and my parents and everyone at home. I love you. Thank you.
I can't let you go without talking about your 2 rushing touchdowns. You walked over and said it's good enough to get 1, but 2, baby.
You have to watch 20 years. I don't think I've ever done that. So, yeah, that was close enough. I can't go very far, so I can push the ball for a couple yards. It was fun, and we needed it, and I would take them if they give them to us.
6-0. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Bye. See you guys. Thank you.
Well, the roll continues here in New England. And in the end, the 91st 300-plus yard passing day for number 12. He greets the rookie Daniel Jones after this win here in Foxborough. More to come after this.
Join us for more football on Sunday as the kickoff gang starts off a wild day of action. Russell Wilson recognizes the 100th season of the NFL by honoring a Seahawk legend. And we welcome a huge personality to the Fox family, while another fun-loving tight end sits down to talk about the bliss on the bay. Join us Sunday, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific.
The dulcet tones of the Fox voiceover guy. 21-point win for the New England Patriots. They're 6-0. And welcome back inside the broadcast booth. I'm Joe Baca, along with the Hall of Fame Troy over there. And I thought Tom Brady said it best. I mean, they grinded out a win. They've suffered their own injuries within this game and during the season already. But they're 6-0, and that defense showed up again.
They did show up again, and that's a nice feeling for a quarterback when you come into a game and you've got a defense supporting you the way that Tom has this year. And it is interesting, you know, watching the game, and as we covered the game, anybody viewing it would say, yeah, you know, offensively they're not clicking the way that we're used to seeing with Tom Brady and company, and I think that's the case. And yet they had 400 and almost 30 yards of offense, and I guess the good thing is that they're going to only get better. And that's really the hallmark of the Patriots, is they just keep getting better and in the phases where they need to, and then by season's end and when they move into January, they're playing their best football.
Meanwhile, on the other side, we got to watch Daniel Jones, and now 12-0 is Bill Belichick at home as head coach of the Patriots against a rookie quarterback. But we saw the 3 interceptions for Daniel Jones, but we also saw a lot of good ball placement and that accuracy and his ability to move. There's so much good there. You know why they're so excited.
Yeah, I think that you come out of this game, you know, I think anyway, I did, feeling even better about Daniel Jones than you did when the game started, knowing this was going to be a really hard game for him and company against a really good defense. And you know, yeah, there are mistakes, of course there are, but you know, he's young. You know, he hasn't played much football, and so I thought that he delivered the football in some really good areas where he needed to, gave his team a chance. And unfortunately, the score doesn't show that, but I like what they're starting to build. I said that with Dave Gettleman, and then of course with Pat Shurmur, and I think the future's bright for the New York Giants.
Right now, the present remains bright for the New England Patriots. They're now 6-0. Coming up next, the late local news on Fox, the Mercedes-Benz postgame show on NFL Network. 21-point win for the Patriots. They're 6-0 on a Thursday night. Good night from Massachusetts.
Mercedes-Benz post-game show.
Welcome in, everybody, to Gillette Field, where the Patriots' dominance continues. A 35-14 win over the Giants. They move to 6-0 for the first time since 2015. There's Tom Brady giving a hug to our own Willie McGinnis. Of course, these Patriots have now won 16 straight games here at Foxborough. So impressive. 52 primetime wins for them. You have Tom Brady breaking records today. You have Julian Edelman breaking records. Tom Brady moving second all-time in the passing list. And you have Julian Edelman third now all-time in Patriots catches. But I'm Colleen Wolfe. I got Willie McGinnis here, Steve Smith Sr., and Joe Thomas. And this was a game that, you know, the defense of this team really dominated. They now have 14 interceptions. That's twice as many as any other team in the league, Willie.
And that's good because the defense needs to play at a high level. You see the 4 turnovers, 2 scores, 1 on special teams and 1 on defense, and they needed that today. The offense hasn't been going the way as planned, and I'm sure that they'll fix it and they'll talk about it, but it's complimentary football, and the defense is what's leading the charge right now.
Well, Julian Edelman, as you can see, he's walking over to our set. He's going to join us after a big night, 9 for 113. We have all sorts of questions for him. And then, of course, coming up Sunday your way, we got early football. Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers taking on Mike Evans and the Buccaneers live from London this Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, only here on NFL Network.
You are watching the Mercedes-Benz post-game show. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
It's not pretty good or nothing. It's not acceptable or nothing. And it's definitely not close enough or nothing. Mercedes-Benz SUVs were built, designed, and engineered with only one mission in mind: to be the absolute best. In the category, in the industry, in the world. Test drive one of 7 Mercedes-Benz SUVs at your authorized dealer today. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Autograph, bro.
Sunday morning, guys, get up. It's game day. The Panthers taking on the Bucs from London. Rich Eisen, Steve Mariucci, Michael Irvin, and Kurt Warner. They are all on the call. Game day kickoff begins at 7 a.m. Eastern and kickoff at 9:30 a.m. right here on NFL Network. Time for tonight's star of the game, presented by Mercedes-Benz, and it is Julian Edelman, 9 for 113 tonight. There's his catch there, the 36-yarder in the fourth quarter. Back-to-back weeks with 100 yards receiving, the only Patriot with 100 yards receiving. Julian, welcome to the show. Congratulations on the win. But what has happened over these past 2 weeks specifically with you? Because it really feels like you are clicking at this point.
That's you got me
What's
on that one.
been the difference?
I think it's just been more opportunities, more targets, you know, and just doing what the coaches ask you to do. That's a loaded question. We don't like answering those questions here.
Well, I just saw you lay out for that pass to make a great catch, so we don't want to be talking about the chest and the ribs and all that stuff going forward. But I do want to say congratulations. 3rd most receptions in Patriot history. When I said it to you, you was like, who, what? Are you guys just that focused in the accolades and none of that stuff even matters?
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. You know, we have our thought on the big process of what's going on and trying to continue to improve each week. I mean, you know how it is here. You get in this mode where you just grind, especially with this short week, trying to prepare for a team you very rarely play. I mean, I know it's the Giants. Everyone knows all that stuff, but we don't get to see them that often with no practice. You know, your focus kind of stays on where you're trying to get.
Gotcha. Couple weeks in a row that your offense has started a little bit slowly, picked it up in the second half enough to win the game. What kind of things do you guys need to do to make sure that you start a little bit faster, so if you're playing an opponent that's not so battered and bruised like the Giants are, you don't get behind early in that
shots.
game?
Throwing shots.
Yeah, you see what
Guys throwing shots, huh? Look at this guy, huh? Jeez, throwing shots.
That's why I keep Steve.
Get him, Adam.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Molly Waffle.
No, you know, they're teams that we don't know. We don't play very often. You know, this is our 2nd consecutive week against a NFC East team. So, you go into an environment last week. I mean, this is the National Football League. It doesn't matter what kind of record any team has. They're going to play us well. They always do. Every team plays us well. And what we got to do is we got to go to the practice field. We have to have great weeks of practice and continue just to keep chipping away at that. And hopefully we start faster.
Well, let's just get to it. I'm going to give you a double barrel question. One.
Oh,
okay.
First one.
I saw a little smile behind the beard, so go ahead.
I would like to get an autograph Julian Edelman jersey. And two, how long does it take to really get the beard, and does the gray hairs come with it?
Oh no! Oh no!
All right. The first question is, I'll give you my autograph if I can get yours.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's I mean, you've been an absolute stud your whole career. I looked up to you, how you approached the game, how physical you were, how you were with your mentality. Being a smaller stature guy going out there stretching the field. I mean, you're a class. I mean, I try to model my game after you first off.
Well, I appreciate it. You have exceeded that, and you're a baller.
And then,
I love watching you play.
Go ahead and hug it out.
Talking about
Can we hug? Can we hug?
Go ahead and hug it out. Look, such a bro moment right here.
Are you jealous?
I got lost. I can give you one too.
This is amazing.
So look, you guys scored a special teams touchdown. The defense scored a touchdown. But Brady scored 2 touchdowns. How hyped does he get in the huddle when he calls his own number and knows he's about to take it in?
I mean, half the time he just takes it.
It just goes.
He just goes. Half the time, no, he's always hyped. The guys. I mean, I think he just passed Peyton Manning in second all time, and this play right here is what gets him fired up when he gets to get all beat up and go with the big old dogs and get in the middle. I mean, it's unreal how many times he's done that and how good he is at it, just finding that hole. I mean, he's our leader, and it's because of guys like him why we succeed and do so many good things, because he likes to be with the guys and experience that,
All right. You mentioned some increased opportunities for you in the last couple of weeks because you guys have had some injuries at receiver. Josh Gordon, we saw him go down in the game today. Who in that room needs to step up if Gordon is going to be out any length of time, and if Dorsett remains in that concussion protocol?
I mean, this guy.
Somebody's got to keep you on track.
I know.
Double barrel.
Double barrel. What are we doing here?
This
guy.
Awesome.
I mean, is your first time? It's your first time interviewing a Patriot?
It's a rookie.
It's all right. No, I'm just joking. Big fan of you too.
Thank you.
You didn't miss a snap, did you?
Not for a while, till my elbow exploded.
Insane.
On the field. Then I was on for a while.
20 quarterbacks you played with, too.
Yeah, there was a few of them.
Hey.
Julian wasn't there. He wasn't one of them.
So,
He could have played quarterback there with you.
He could have been better.
Now the shots are coming from
Cribs.
Hey, man.
Kent State alum, Cribs.
I know, Cribs, man.
They played him at wide
He actually
receiver,
played
though.
quarterback a little bit for us during that stretch.
I think to answer your question, I think we all need to step up. This is an ongoing thing. I mean, these first 2 months of the season are about improving and seeing what your team's about with the rules and regulations, how the off seasons are now. I mean, these first 2 weeks or these first 2 months are like basically almost like, let's see what we're about and sharpen the things you're good at. You get better at the things you're not that good at, and just keep on chipping away and trying to improve your team weekly, so you're not the same team as you are in September when you're entering like November and December.
Julian, for so many years here, and now still, the offense is always getting the love, but this defense has been insanely good.
Talk about it.
I mean, like, give some props to this defense.
This defense is unreal. I mean, you can't even say one name because everyone's making plays. And, it's great to go against these guys because they make you better. From the linebackers to the secondary to the defensive line, I mean, it's unreal to see how many different packages they're playing and all these things. And I mean, it's fun to watch, sit back, and I mean, they probably I think they outscored us today. So
they were close.
We're gonna have to get it going.
You got to get it going. We talked about the protection. We talked about the injuries and all those different things. And I always say this is one place where they're able to make adjustments and overcome. The one thing I do want to talk about, though, is all the noise that's going on about this could be the best Patriot team. You guys could probably go undefeated and all those different things. I already know, but can you tell everybody the focus every single week? It's great to be undefeated. It's great to win games, but it's how you win games. And what do you guys need to do to just stay the course going forward?
Well, you know, no one's done anything with 6 wins. So, you know, first off, I mean,
nobody's going to the Pro Bowl after 5 weeks or winning.
Whatever.
We talked about that in the pre-show.
This is way too early.
Somebody goes to the Hall of Fame now.
Well, there's legends built too. You see what I'm working with?
Legends.
See what I'm working
I mean, come on, this guy's.
I know.
I feel like I'm not part of the show over here.
No, you're in it. You're
so
in
I gotta
it.
be part of the.
It's all right, man.
You made some good points. I'm with you on that.
He played in Cleveland. He's learning how to be a victim.
no.
Really.
So as a staple of the show, it's become every week here we give a gift to our guest.
What we
give a
got?
shout out to the artist, the up-and-coming artist. This week it's Bishop Briggs,
that tape?
Julian. It's a cassette tape.
Wow, I'll
2
pop that in the
million
car.
global streams for her
Thank
song
you for
River
the
and
tape.
Champion. You can get her album. It's out on pre-order. Or you could be like Julian and have a cassette right now. So just like you,
love it.
her song's a champion. You're a champion here tonight. See, it all goes together.
Hey.
Synergy. How about that?
Synergy.
Congratulations. Hope your rib chest situation is feeling better. Is it?
It's feeling a day better than yesterday.
Great. All right, Julian Edwards joining us here on the set. Congratulations again. And guys, coming up on Sunday, it's the Panthers and Bucks live from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Hey, you want some football for breakfast? Good, because that's what you're getting. Game day kickoff at 7 a.m. Eastern, and that's happening. Our coverage at 7 and kickoff at 9:30 Eastern, everybody. Tonight, after the post-game show, Mark Ingram is crashing Total Access to talk about the Ravens' high-octane rushing attack. NFL Total Access, that's coming up next on NFL Network. A full round of highlights and post-game sound. Don't go anywhere, guys. And also, the next NFL action coming your way is Sunday morning. Make sure you set your alarm and your fantasy lineups early this week. The Bucks and Panthers are in London. We'll get your day started with coverage at 7 a.m. Eastern and kickoff from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at 9:30 Eastern, only on NFL Network. Okay, wrapping things up here, and Willie, we saw last week Tom Brady, he got sacked or hit 10 times. That was the most he's ever been hit since the Eagles Super Bowl, and that was 15 times. So it's been a while since we've really seen this, and then we saw it again tonight.
Yeah, well, they got two linemen that are out. They got to do a better job of protection. He was sacked 3 times tonight, hit 6 times. So they got to figure it out, and I'm sure Dante Scarnecchia, the offensive line coach, will do that.
And then you have to wonder if this, the pass protection, we talked about it a lot in the pregame show. So that seems like it could be an issue for the run game as well.
I think a big reason, well, partly why Brady and their offense is struggling early on is they're not running the football very well, and that leads to breakdowns in protection. It's so complementary, especially with this offense. Brady relies on that play action. He relies on those guys pushing up front, giving them some room in the run game, and making those linebackers suck up, and that's where he gets a lot of those underneath openings where he can get the ball.
But that's not open, though, Joe. The ball's not coming out the 2.5 seconds we're used to seeing, so the ball's not coming out quicker. And previously, you talked about Washington. They're dropping 8 guys, so guys are covered. So it's got to be, the ball's got to come out quick.
Exactly.
You're right.
You got to run the football. You got to be able to protect. You got to be able to throw the ball. And they're
get
struggling
open
early on, and they're not doing any of those things well.
It does help, though, that they have this defense that is suffocating.
That's not a bad part.
Yeah, and poor Daniel Jones, he had to face them tonight on a short week, his 4th career start. He didn't have a lot of weapons out there because everyone is pretty much hurt. What did you think, Steve, of his 4th career start?
Well, his 4th career start, I know he could be the 21st quarterback that could have played with the Cleveland Browns with Joe Thomas. But also, too, what I also saw with him is he was a young guy who was put it in tight windows, but also he made a lot of young mistakes, throwing the ball up, being very impatient, and at times what we call happy feet. He's just kind of throwing it, moving around, not being quiet in the pocket, but really looking a little erratic at times. But he also threw some great passes as well. So it was more of a 50-50 game for him, but he's still a young guy that has a lot of promise, and he will and shall improve. And he needs to work on it each week, and his baptism by fire moving forward with him.
So the Giants, they moved to 2-4 on the season, and the Patriots, they just continue to
keep rolling.
to steamroll teams 6-0 to start the season. A 35-14 win for them here at Foxborough. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, all night long. NFL Total Access is next with much more post-game coverage. Plus, of course, Mark Ingram. He will be by as well. Don't forget, we'll be back on Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern, to get you ready for Bucs and Panthers here on NFL Network. We will see you next week in Denver as the Chiefs take on the Broncos. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for watching the Mercedes-Benz post-game show. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
You can't put wings on a car. You can't see an accident coming. Or walk away from one like this. You can't make a car talk.
How can I help you?
You can't fight gravity. And you can't make one of the world's best SUVs even better. Go on, tell us what else we can't do. The all-new GLS.
Are you ready to go?
Possibly the safest, most spacious, most Mercedes SUV ever made. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.